sound of silence. The night the world broke inside her was the same night it rained harder than she'd ever seen. Rain crashed against the window of her small bedroom in the group home, but she couldn't hear it. She only felt the trembling of the glass, the rhythm of something she had never known but somehow understood. Nia sat curled up on the floor, clutching a letter that wasn't meant for her. It was from her birth mother, and it said one thing that shattered her without making a sound. "I can't do this anymore. I hope one day she understands." But Nia didn't understand. She only saw the pain in the shapes of the words, the slant of the pen, the tremor that ran through the ink as if her mother's hand had been shaking. She pressed the paper to her chest, trying to imagine what her mother's voice might have sounded like. Would it have been soft? Warm? Or would it have cracked like this rain? Her world was silence. Always had been. But that night, in the stillness between heartbeats, silence became unbearable. She wanted to scream, but no sound came. She wanted to break something, but all she did was cry, silently, until her tears blurred the words she couldn't hear, only feel. That was the night Nia decided that silence wasn't peace. It was prison. Nia was 17, and she had learned to live with silence like it was an uninvited guest who never left. She walked through the world reading lips, tracing vibrations, and catching fragments of emotion from the faces around her. Her interpreter at school, Miss Clara, always told her she had the kindest eyes. But kindness, Nia thought, was what people said when they didn't know what else to say. Every day, she wore the same brave face, the one that said "I'm fine." But inside, she wasn't fine. She was tired of trying to exist in a world built on sound. The hearing kids laughed in hallways, whispered secrets, sang songs from their phones. All things she could only see, not feel. When they smiled at her, she smiled back, but her smile was armor, not joy. At night, Nia sat by her window, pressing her palm to the cold glass, watching people walk home under streetlights. Couples held hands. Cars whooshed by. Dogs barked. She imagined what each sound must feel like. The vibration of laughter, the rhythm of footsteps, the heartbeat of rain. But the truth was cruel. Silence wasn't the absence of sound. It was the echo of what she never had. Then came him. One evening, at the community center where she volunteered to help little kids learn sign language, a new teacher arrived, a young man named Elijah. He was tall, with skin the color of earth after rain, and eyes that carried a light she didn't understand. He signed slowly, clearly, deliberately. When she signed back, he smiled, not the polite kind, but the kind that reached his eyes. Beautiful hands, he signed one day, watching her fingers dance in the air. Nia blushed. She looked away. No one had ever called her beautiful before. Not her face. Not her voice. She didn't have one. Not her silence. But that night, for the first time, silence didn't feel heavy. It felt full. And that terrified her. Weeks passed, and Elijah became the rhythm of her world. He showed her how to feel music through vibration, placing her hand on a speaker as soft jazz played. Sound is more than hearing, he signed. It's energy. You can feel love the same way. At first, she laughed. But when his hand brushed hers, accidentally, she thought, her whole body went still. She felt a warmth rise through her chest, something she couldn't name. They spent evenings in the park after the kids' classes ended. He'd tap her shoulder and point at the sky, at clouds that looked like ships, or stars that flickered in invisible patterns. He'd sign stories about his childhood, about losing his brother in an accident, about how grief taught him to listen, not with ears, but with heart. You don't need to hear to understand the world, he told her. You just need to feel it honestly. One night, under the dim glow of streetlights, she told him about her mother, about the letter, about how she hated silence because it reminded her of being unwanted. He looked at her for a long time before signing. Silence isn't what hurt you, Nia. Abandonment did. Don't punish the silence for what someone else broke. Tears welled up. She didn't know how to respond. For the first time, someone had seen through her, not her deafness, but her pain. That night, as she lay in bed, she pressed her hand against her chest and felt her heartbeat. Thump, thump, a rhythm she'd never truly listened to before. And in that steady rhythm, she heard something no ear ever could, herself. It was the night of the school showcase.